Welcome to the Urban Life video tutorial, part 2. In this tutorial, we're going to go over the administration part of the template. So let's jump right in now. The first thing we want to do, let's go over and look at the menus. Okay, so let's look at the main menu. And let's check out a few things in here. Of course, if you're familiar with Joomla, you know how to build a main menu. You know, your main menu is you create a new one, and then if you want to have drop downs, you assign them to a parent. But we've got some more videos on how to do that, so I'm just going to show you what's pretty specific to this template. Okay, one thing we did here with the blog is we didn't want the one column blog to be really wide because we didn't want the text to go really far out, and the template is kind of wide. So what we did on this is we used a page class for this single column blog. So let me show you that real quick. Okay, once you go in here to the menu item, you're going to want to go to the page display tab here. If you're using Joomla 2.5 still, it's going to be over here on the right. And see, we use a page class of pad R200, and what that does is it puts padding on the right of 200. So that's something that you want to go ahead and make sure you've got in there if you're building out your template and you want to have it look just like the demo if you don't use a quick start. As well, for our portfolio center left and right, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use page display. Center large is center large, left would be left large, right would be right large. And then over here for the blog layout, your leading articles will be 3, your intro will be 4, columns 4. And that pretty sums up what's in the menu that you might need to know. Otherwise, go ahead and refer to our other video tutorials about setting up Joomla. So let's go over here to the articles. Let's first look at the category manager. Let me explain this all to you, how we have it set up in the demo here. Under the demo category, we have the past issues, we have all the categories here. About Joomla and everything, this is the core Joomla stuff. Featured, that's the slideshow. Photo gallery, that's our photo gallery. So let's go look at the article manager now, and let's check out the featured, which is the slideshow. Let me show you that. Click on the search tools here, and let's go ahead and let's select by category. Let's go down here to the featured. As you see, we have 4 in here. So we can go ahead and open this one up and see that we have our text in here for our intro text. And then we have our little break for our full text. And this article is all done with a WYSIWYG editor, so you can go ahead and use the WYSIWYG editor to do all of your list styles and everything. So the images are done over here under the Images tab. We have our intro image, and we have our full article image. Now, what's interesting here about this certain category, for the slideshow, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to have a left image. So the image float that we have on the full article image is left. Let's go check that out. So here we are on the front end, so let's see what this is all about. So here I'm going to click on the slideshow, and as you see, we have a left image here. And it's pretty tall. So what we actually did for the responsive version was, once you get down to the device level, we switch this image out for the intro image. And what this is going to do for you as well is it's going to help you when you're delivering your image to a phone or to any kind of device that might not have the bandwidth you have when you're on your desktop. So it's a smaller version of it, and for this one we actually changed the image and used the main slide that we used. So let's go ahead and check that out. So here's a side-by-side view of what you're going to see when you're looking at this from a device. As you see, we have the small image here, and it's not tall, because if we had a tall image here, then you'd have a lot of scrolling to do. and then we have our tall image here. So that's a very useful feature. So now let's go look at some of the other categories. So let's go here to the photo gallery. I can show you how we do the photo gallery. Photo gallery is just a single article. And all we do here is we put in our images folder a folder named photo gallery with our images in it, and then we wrap it with the gallery tags. And voila, you've got a really nice photo gallery. And for the demo here of, say, the urban lifestyle, here we have our articles, and let me just show you how those are set up real quickly. Of course, we have our intro text, we have our full text, and then we have our images over here. As you see, I've got a thumbnail image here, which is a smaller image, and then we have a larger image here for the full article. Again, if you set the smaller image to about 900, or it depends where you want to set your breakpoint at. If you have your mobile breakpoint at 786 or 900 or whatever, then that's the size you kind of want to make your thumbnail so it can be full width once it goes down to one column. And it'll be less intense pulling from the site. So let's go ahead and close out of here. And now let's go ahead and move on to the next section. Let's go over and look at our extension manager. So we're going to go over to the module manager. And I'm very briefly going to go and show you how we do everything here inside of our walls and stuff. So here we have the inset slide, and this is the image that comes in animated. As you see, all we did here was we put his div class around it, main slide header, zoom animated, zoom in up, and then we put our image in. So if you just want to replace your image right there, you just put your own image in and you're good to go. Now I'm only going to show you one wall here really as far as the Deluxe News Pro, because it works with all the walls. So let's go ahead here and let's select type, make it easy to find, and let's look for our Deluxe News Pro. And let's go here to the slideshow. So in the Deluxe News Pro here for the slideshow, all we had to do was set one column, one row, and pages 6. So this is going to pull 6 different articles and show it with our own custom HTML markup. The custom HTML markup is pulled from a template here, and we've included templates for every single one of the layouts that you see in the demo. So all you have to do is install it, select the template you want, and you're good to go. If you want to go ahead and edit it, it's as simple as clicking this button right here, and boom, there's the markup that we use. We use little tags here like a link, that's the link tag, that's the title tag, intro text, there's the article image URL, and that's what sets up the whole thing. And then if you move over here to the advanced, you'll see that any of the core CSS that's being used is right here. So you can basically edit everything inside of this module without even opening one CSS file. You can do it right here inside the module. And that works for all the walls that we have in here. For our socializer wall, for the commento wall, and the News Pro. So you can basically set up your whole site without touching any line of code. And that's going to get us now to the template administrator. So let's move over here to the template manager now. And we're going to pull up Urban Life. So first is the details. So we're using the default layout. We've included default and mobile. Don't get confused here. The mobile layout is a totally different layout. It's a one-column layout, and it's a totally different template. If you want to use that template, you're going to have to use different module positions and set that up. We basically included it just in case you or your client maybe wanted to have a completely different website on mobile. But now that this template is responsive and responds to any device, you really don't have to worry about that unless there's something really custom you want to do. Mobile device detection. This is what will turn on the mobile layout for mobile devices. Now you want to leave this off for responsive because the template's already responsive again. All this will do for you is it'll switch the templates out at mobile device level if you choose to create a separate mobile template. So let's go down to the layout settings here. So we've got default and mobile. So grid style is default, the template style. This is where you can select from one of the 4 different styles. CSS3 Effects, there's only one file there. Typography, just one file. Click over here and you can view the layout of the template. Now the grid settings, this is where all the calculations go for the widths and all those parameters. So this is your body, this is your main wrapper width. This is the width of the inner part of the website. From side to side of the browser, it is not. This says that we want to have the site at 1600. So you could set that for 1280, you could set it for 900, you could set it for whatever you want. Responsive features, on or off. Say you want the template to look just the same as it does on a tablet, as it does on the desktop, or on a phone as it is on a desktop. If you don't want everything going responsive down to one column, you just turn responsive off. And as you've seen, we do have a sticky header. If you don't want to have a sticky header, you can set that to no. This is the header padding left and right, and this is the header fixed or fluid width. Fixed adheres to this right here, 1600. So you can have it fixed, or you can go fluid, which will go from side to side of the browser. Next we have your menu. This is where you select your suckerfish, dualfish, or let's say you install a third-party menu system that you're not using the core Joomla menu. Then you probably want to select none because it probably has its own CSS file, so we don't want to go ahead and be calling either of these CSSs for the drop-downs and such. This is the main menu mobile width. Right here, 900. That's when, in the responsive mode, the main menu is going to switch from your normal menu just to that single mobile menu. Now here we have the region configuration. This is your region order, 1 through 10. Like I showed you in the first video, you can go ahead and set that for a different layout if you want. Say 2, 4, 6, whatever. The only thing you really need to know in there is the component is in 3. So you always have to have 3 or nothing's going to be shown on your page. Here's a separator between regions. This is the pixel separator between the regions. You're probably good just to leave that as it is. And now we have region 1. Region 1, we want to have it fixed. Again, we want it to be that 1600, not fluid. Then you've got your padding top and bottom and your mobile region hide. What mobile region hide does is, let's say you have a bunch of modules inside of region 1 and you want that for the desktop, but it's a little too much for mobile. So you can go ahead and set that mobile region hide for say 900, and then it will hide the whole region at that width. And that's the same for each region. You've got fixed, you've got your padding top and bottom, and your mobile hide. Then you have your footer, and then we come down to the left and right columns. Regions 2 through 9 have left and right. So you've got your left width and your right width. And these are based on spans. It's based on the Bootstrap 12-column grid. So basically, if you have left and right as 3-column spans, that means the center area is going to be 6 columns wide. So you can set this for 1 through 12 because it is 12 columns. So if you need to learn a little more about the Bootstrap 12-column grid, just use Google and you're going to see exactly what we're talking about here. So down here with the modules, this is the module stuff. This is the separator between modules vertically. That's the margin between modules when you stack them on top of each other. Here's our mobile show suffix width and our mobile hide suffix width. We have module suffixes called mobile show and mobile hide. Now, this basically is the setting for when you want to show or hide a module. So let's say that you wanted to hide a certain module at 900 px. Then you would put the module suffix mobile hide on it and it would adhere to this number. Let's say you don't want to use that suffix to hide it till it's 700. So if you really know what you're doing with responsive and you understand, when you want to hide something or show something or flip things around for responsive, you can use that. If you're good to go with the way it is, you don't really need to worry about those parameters. We put that in there so you could do a little more and have a little more freedom with the template. So now we're going to go to the style settings. I'm just going to show you one style here because they're all basically the same. So here to create style 1. We have our body front page. The body is the element that goes from the top to the bottom of the website in the background of the website. It's the website body. And so we have a background color here of gray, and then we have our background image. This is the S1. Here in style 1, that's what it is. That's city, that's the body. That's S2, S3, S4. So over here for our image position, we have center 0, no repeat fixed. Now let's say you want to have a different image on the sub pages, because on the front page you want to use the body to have that nice picture, but on the sub pages you want it to be a little different. So right here you've got a different background image. Now let's think about mobile. Once it goes down to mobile, do we really need these big images in here that we're pulling? No, let's just use a background color. And here we have our style color scheme. We have base color 1 through 8. If you look at the front end of the site, you're going to notice that lots of things are base colored. And all you have to do is look at these colors here and see what they're presented as on the front end, and you can go ahead and change them and change your entire color scheme just right here with these 8 different colors. Now we get in that header area. And with the header, you can have a background color, you can have an image, and then you can position the image. And then you have a background color, background image, and image position. This is for the wrap, the overall wrap. Like let's say this is the fluid wrap, and then this part here would be the restricted to your inner part, which is 1600. And here's where you go ahead and change your website logo. So all you do is you upload your logo image to the template folder, images, and logos. Once you put it in there, you go over here and then you can select right here. You can view the image by this, or go ahead and select and it pops up a nice selection, so you can go ahead and select your logo. We've also included a mobile logo image. So let's say you have a pretty big logo in there, but once you go down to the mobile level on a phone, it's a little too big. Well, right here, you can swap out the image for a different logo. And here is where we do that logo swap with. So let's say that we want to swap it out at 900. We have a pretty small logo in this template, so we just use the same ones in there. And here's your menu settings. This is for your main menu, the top level. So you've got your background colors, you've got your hover background colors, your active, and all your font colors. And here's the drop-down menu. Same thing here. You've got your backgrounds for the wrap, and then you've got your text colors. Now we move into the regions. The regions can have a overall wrap background color, an overall background image and position, and then they can have that inner part, which is again 1600, set in the template manager in the grid. We can have a background color for that, a background image, a mobile width. And here's something interesting. If you're using images at the mobile level, you can do a couple things here. You can say, yes, I want to have background images at the mobile level. You can say, no background images at the mobile level. Or you can swap them. All you have to do is name your image that you've put in here for your background image, make a smaller one, and name it mobile underscore and the same name, and it'll automatically swap it out. So that's basically the same for all the regions. Region 3 has a few more options in it because this is where the component is. So you've got your basic options here, then you have your component wrap. So if you want to have a different color for your component area, and if you want to have a different color for your left wrap and your right wrap, and then of course you've got your mobile width. And now let's move down here and get through the regions, the footer, and now here's the module. The module, this is your overall module styling. We have over 60 different module suffix styles, but for your core module, this is the default. So you've got your background color for it, you've got the title background color, the first word color, and the rest of the words color. So the first word will be all white, and the rest of them will be the blue here. And here's the base typography colors. So you've got your body, your page title, your article title, your category title, all of your H classes, your global link classes. And this is where you do all of your colors per style. So now let's move on to the CSS3 effects. The CSS3 effects, we have a CSS3 hover effect. And this is used on the menu and on links and on a lot of places. And what this does is it allows you to have a nice hover in effect with CSS3 instead of just flipping to the color when you hover over something. So you can turn that off and on and check out and see what it does. You've got your transition property here, your hover effect speed. If you look inside of the templates, CSS3 Effects.css, it's at the very top, all the classes that we attach to that. So if you want to add a class to use with that, you'll just look at the top of the CSS3 effects, CSS. Then we have the CSS3 responsive animation. We basically have this off because it's a little taxing on the browser, but let's say you're building the site for a client and you want to really wow them, turn that on, and as the website goes responsive, when you pull it in, everything is going to kind of slide into place instead of jumping. And it's more of a gimmick, but you know, not everybody that views your website is going to be pulling in the browser to check and see, oh, does it respond well? Is it perfect? But you might want to go ahead and turn that on because it's pretty cool. And then we have our CSS3 component animation. This is another one that, yes, it taxes the browser a little bit, but this is a kind of cool effect. You know, if we turn on the animation on, you've got your CSS3 component style. What this will do is it'll animate the component. You can go ahead and set it for up, down, left, right, or fade. And let me show you a quick example of that. If we go over here to our blog, let's go to our blog now, watch as it animates in. Nice. So you can have that come from the top, bottom, left, right, or you can just fade it. So now here's your base typography styles, text direction, your global font size, your global font families. And this is pretty self-explanatory here, you know, but as you see, you have complete control over all this stuff that would normally be just in the CSS. So you can pretty much prototype your site and get your site online and everything right here in the template manager. And finally, we have the advanced settings. In the advanced settings, we have the CSS mode. Right now we're loading it separate files. If you want to load everything in a single file, everything will load in a single file. If you want to head embed it, you can. Depending on how your hosting company works and your server, then you can test this. In some cases, it's not really good to do a single file, and that really just depends on your host and your server. CSS compression. This will compress the CSS. Again, you might want to check with your hosting company and make sure that everything's going to go good there. And the front page components. Right now, as you saw our front page, we're not showing anything from the component view. You know, normally when you install a Joomla site, you see your front page articles right there on the front page. So what we built into the template administrator is the ability to have no components on the front page. So if you just want to build your entire front page from modules, you can do it like that. If you want to use the content, go ahead and select it here. If you want everything to show on the home page, all components. Include jQuery in no conflict mode. Right now, everything's running fine. We don't need jQuery to be loaded, so we're not loading it. But if you install a third-party component that might need jQuery to be called right in the template head, then you go ahead and turn this on. And I hope this was very helpful in getting your site set up quickly or answering any questions. You can go ahead and check out the full docs here and read up on the docs. And I've pretty much so outlined everything that's in the documentation. And if you need support, feel free to go to our website and go to the support link and give us a support ticket. And we'll get back to you. And so we'll see you next time.